Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
We know how important your company is to the community.
Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of HTV's Louisiana and Beyond.
And tonight we continue our look at what is believed to be the largest capital project ever constructed in our area, the $330 million Houma Navigation Canal Lock Complex.
In the planning for decades, the project is a massive testament of what can be done when a focused group of South Louisiana natives set their sights on protecting our region.
And we're going to hear from Gordon Dove, Stevie Smith, O'Neill Malbrew, Angela Hidalgo, Colonel Scotty Otan, and Michael Hare.
And in our guest segment, Sea Level Construction's Travis Schonecker and Justin Lane will join us.
Coming up on Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond is brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Greater Lafourche Port Commission, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
For more than 65 years, the Greater Lafourche Port Commission has been an important fixture in our community. From humble beginnings in 1960 to a modern-day cornerstone of global commerce, specializing in all things energy-related, we have worked alongside you, our neighbors, and partners to build a brighter and more prosperous tomorrow. Together, we have weathered storms, embraced innovation, and celebrated meaningful milestones. Here's to the past, present, and future of a thriving Lafourche and Louisiana.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
In a world where you can choose to be anything, who do you choose to be? At Nichols State University, with over 70 distinct degree programs, we believe our students can be anything. Be an artist, a chef, a journalist, an educator, a lifesaver. But no matter what you choose to be a colonel. Be more at Nichols State University.
Welcome back to our Part 2 look at the Houma Navigation Canal Lock Complex.
And we'll begin with our first introduction to Colonel Scotty Otan and his family connection to the HNC from this chamber speech back in February.
So this morning I was fortunate enough, we met at the Terrebonne Port and we signed a design agreement for the deepening of the Houma Navigation Canal. We signed it with DOTD, our great state partnership. And a very quick history on Houma Navigation Canal, and something that I think is important to highlight. As I talked about Gibson Otain earlier, Gibson approached the Corps as part of the chamber and other leaders in Houma and said, hey, we think we need a Houma Navigational Canal. And the Corps said, that's great. We need 3 years, $3 million, and we need a bunch of time to study it, and we're going to have to look at it, and all those things that sound like paperwork. And Gibson said, we don't have time for that. And the rest of the community said, we don't have time for that. And so the community banded together, and they raised money. They raised $38,000, and they did the study on their own. And they went and they did the study, and they said, the study makes sense, let's do this. And then the community came together again, because the Corps still was waiting too long to do it. And they said, we're going to bond it ourselves. And they did a $3.5 million bond themselves. They raised the money themselves. And they dug the Houma Navigational Canal themselves. And it was after that fact that the Corps goes, this is a great canal. And they go, we know. And so they went to D.C., and they lobbied, and they got that canal put into a federal registry. And so the Corps adopted that canal as part of a federal navigational canal post that. And so that's the first part of this theme that I think is important. Is this is one of the earlier instances where the community said, we're not waiting. We know what we need, and we're going to move out, and we're going to do that. And so now here we are. We're working with them, and we're going to deepen this canal. And it's going to increase economic opportunity. The latest benefit cost is roughly 4 to 1. About bringing in deeper draft vessels to increase the opportunity and capability of the port that's proven itself and proven what it's capable to do. And it's going to expand job opportunities beyond just oil and gas. You're going to look at maritime manufacturing. You're going to look at national security. Right? As Bollinger is going to build ice cutters, that's giving President Trump national capability to project power across our Arctic waterways.
Then we'll go from Morganza to the Gulf. We've got a lot of money coming in the annual plan for Morganza. A lot of the southern reaches of Morganza are at 15 feet. And if it's not at 15 feet, it's under construction. My hat's off to Tony Alford and the levee board. And of course, we're building the Houma Navigational Lock Complex, about $350 million, probably a year and a half left on construction.
Of course, Angela and Mitch and everybody.
Oh, yeah, look, Angela, Mitch, and everyone else along with that have done a wonderful job. And I know GIS is one of the engineers on it. And, Reggie now retired. I mean, I could go on and on. The people that have been a concerted effort on this project.
Throughout the Morganza to the Gulf project, you have numerous environmental structures that allow the exchange of water inside and outside the system. The benefit of those structures is that you have a closed hole that when you need, and when a storm is coming in, you can close everything down, batten down the hatches, and when the storm is over, you can release the water and allow the ecosystem to naturally do its natural thing. When you look at before and after photos in some of these areas, you see some of the unintended benefits that I don't know anyone really understood the full weight of as this project was being designed and built. And we couldn't know the full weight of until it was constructed, where we have a very limited amount of fresh water in our area. Over time, now that we have this levee system with Morganza to the Gulf that has these environmental structures, allowing that blockage of salt water at the most critical times, but the retention of fresh water, we can now see before and after photos of these areas that were dying off and where marsh was almost completely gone. That now that we have the ability to retain and beneficially distribute the fresh water throughout these historic fresh marshes and swamp areas, we see the environmental benefits taking off.
It's game-changing not only for hurricane protection, but it is an environmental project. We have so much water coming into the parish from the Atchafalaya River, coming up the intercoastal. I mean, again, for anybody who might not know, when the Atchafalaya River flows through Morgan City, some of that water backs up through the intercoastal and flows into Houma. Flows right past the hospital, right under the bridges. So that's all Atchafalaya River fresh water. With the lock in place, Well, some of that water ends up going down the Houma Navigation Canal right there in town. And with the lock in place, we're going to be able to close off the Houma Nav and make that water go east and west into the marshes on either side of the Houma Navigation Canal. So that is literally an environmental restoration project, and it is a system-wide environment. The benefits of that project are going to extend from Bayou Dularge over to Bayou Localia when you think about Lake Boudreaux Basin and going over into Dularge. So that is a tremendous, tremendous benefit for us, okay? It's something that's been talked about for at least 30 to 40 years. And when I say that, I'm talking about trying to get fresh water to move into these marshes in some kind of efficient manner. And it takes advantage of something that's already occurring. Fresh water is coming down the Atchafalaya into Terrebonne Parish. We need to force it to go into areas where we need some benefit, and this is going to help us do that, okay? Now, and then you add to it the hurricane protection benefits, which we already have hurricane protection, but it's going to allow us to move vessels in and out even when we got to close the gates for hurricane protection. So it's really a tremendous benefit.
And coming up later in the program, Angela Hidalgo, Michael Hare, and O'Neill Malbrook add more on the HNC lock.
And after the break, Travis Schonecker and Justin Lane from Sea Level Construction in our guest segment.
Sea Level Construction is a trusted heavy civil contractor delivering turnkey solutions to the Gulf South. From large-scale infrastructure and power distribution foundations to marine construction, driven piling, specialty foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, site development, heavy equipment maintenance, vessel repair, and inshore tugboat services. We also design and supply helical piles nationwide, delivering reliable foundation solutions. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundation for your next project.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
There is no HNC lock complex without its construction lead, Sea Level Construction.
And Sea Level's Justin Lane and Travis Schonecker begin our guest segment recalling when they learned that good news.
You know, it was definitely, a proud day for the company. And, and I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people would look at it and be like, man, were y'all like freaked out or scared or anything? And it's kind of like, no, I mean, we're confident in it, in the project. We're confident in our teams. Over the years, we've built every element on this project. We've built it on other projects. Maybe it's not as large of a project, but every element we've done successfully. We learned over the years. Of course, we've had our problems we've had to fight through, and all those learning experiences, we truly felt like on bid day that we were prepared for this. And we followed through, and I mean, we still have a lot of project left to build, but we're still very confident. You know, our team members there have been doing an excellent job at executing this project. And I mean, people know about it, people hear about it, but until you go over there and put your eyes on it, it's unbelievable.
It's a very large project. You know, we have close to 70 people working out there day to day. The vast majority of which are, you know, local people that have worked for us for a long time. But the project, I want to say from one end of the project to the other is probably close to 1,400 feet. And that's not, you know, what you see on site is not, there's a lot of things that are going on off-site, big fabrication, big machine type work that you wouldn't even see if you came out there, you know, right now. Currently there's 7 large cranes on site, 8 if you count the marine yard. That is another 5 acres of storage that we have just for the project materials and different things that get delivered. But Angela brings groups out, you know, once or twice a month, just to show them the progress. A lot of local different groups, and a lot of people are just completely blown away, you know, by the size of the project and the sheer amount of work that's going on at one time. I mean, we'll have, you know, welding, pile driving, concrete placement going on, barges being moved. I mean, it's a major undertaking that our team goes through every single day just to plan, you know, that day and the different things that we're going to get done. Because of being a marine environment, it has to be planned out to be efficient and safe. It has to be planned out. You know, our moves almost every single day with our group and our leadership that's on site. It's unbelievable, you know, the size of this project that's being built right here in our backyard. The importance of this project, you know, coastal erosion, saltwater intrusion, being able to protect the community from those things and still be able to keep the waterway open. You know, it's vital to our area, and you know, we're just really proud to be the lead company working on it. You know, proud to be the boots on the ground, driving the piling, installing the concrete, installing the steel. And I mean, we just got a tremendous amount of confidence in our team. And so that on bid day, honestly, it wasn't scary because of the team we've built over the years and the type of experience that our guys have. So in cofferdams are used mostly marine construction. Occasionally you'll see them on land, but marine construction, they're used as first of all, they're designed typically by an engineer. So the design drawings and everything is stamped, but they're used to construct some type of foundation, whether it's a caisson or in our case, a monolith concrete placement, you know, well below the water surface or well below the ground surface. And what typically takes place is sheet piles are driven, you know, in a configuration. In our case, they're, you know, in a rectangular shape that square footage wise is almost as big as a football field. So that'll give some people some understanding. But it's driven so that it can be, you know, the sheets are driven, tied together, and then bracing, what we refer to as whalers and bracing, is put in so that either the excavation can take place and all the materials removed out of the inside, or in our case, dewatered. At HNC, we actually did both. We had to excavate and dewater, but it allows an engineered design location for the crews to get in and do the work in what we refer to as in the dry. It's safer than doing it in the wet, and then it gives the owner a much more quality project because the work's being done in a dry condition. Oh, it's definitely, I mean, just the concrete is a heck of an operation to take on. I mean, there's an on-site concrete plant. There's also an off-site concrete plant. You know, and to add to that, a lot of the concrete is poured out in the water, right? It's marine access, which, you know, large concrete pours, especially when you start getting into our summer months when it's hot, can be very difficult. And you add the aspect that this is all marine based, right? So it could definitely get complicated, but again, you know, it's nothing new to us. It might be a larger scale, but this is all things we've accomplished, you know, and the team that we have out there has just been unbelievable. And
We had really, I mean, there's other things that worry me more than HNC lock project, to be perfectly honest.
So 3 years from now, there will be two large concrete structures that we refer to as the Gulf Side Sector Gate and the Inland Side Sector Gate. Both of those structures will have in excess of 20,000 yards of concrete in each one, several thousand feet of piling driven underneath them, large structural steel fabricated gates that will operate during, anytime there's any type of saltwater intrusion or obviously a storm in the Gulf. The levee district will, develop different methods in which those gates are operated, but it will be a very, very large structure. Obviously, that most of the work would be done underwater that people will never see, but there'll be a good portion of it, above the water in the time frame you're talking about. That it should be operational in that time period.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
Sea Level Construction is a trusted heavy civil contractor delivering turnkey solutions to the Gulf South. From large-scale infrastructure and power distribution foundations to marine construction, driven piling, specialty foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, site development, heavy equipment maintenance, vessel repair, and inshore tugboat services. We also design and supply helical piles nationwide, delivering reliable foundation solutions. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundation for your next project.
In our closing segment tonight, we learn more about the HNC, its history, and the position it occupies in the state's coastal master plan.
And no better than Angela Hidalgo from the Terrebonne Levee and Conservation District to provide us an update.
HNC Lock is moving along great. Sea Level's a fantastic contractor. They really know what they're doing. They've come a long way since we first started working with them. And to say that you can't comprehend the size and massive structure that's being constructed out there is an understatement. I mean, just to walk across the catwalk and look down into the hole that's, 40 feet deep, cofferdammed off, with concrete pours, with massive construction, equipment out there and employees out there is just unbelievable. So it is something that I never thought I would see in my lifetime. And the fact that it's being built under my tenure is just amazing. A lot of value engineering went into this. It came in over budget. We did a lot of changes to make sure that the gate was able to be afforded with the Restore Act dollars. So the team we have on this is very massive. We have a lot of engineering firms, a lot of consultants, construction companies locally, which is the most important thing, right? So so it's a huge project. So the Bubba Dove existing structure is 250 feet wide. That is going to remain closed. We are going to only open that through coordinated efforts for massive vessels that can't fit through the lock chamber. The lock chamber will be operated like a true lock. So you can navigate through the gate, the first gate, and then it'll pump the water down, and then you can exit through the other gate. That is going to control salinity and manage freshwater. And then at certain times during the year, we may have both gates open and just let the water flow as long as there's no salinity issue. That would be ideal. If not, we have ways to accommodate and mitigate for those issues. It's going to be an adaptive management type project. So we're going to be looking at, what is the salinity at certain times of year? What is the freshwater doing at certain times of year? Is there a storm coming or not? All those things are going to play into the operation of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, look, you go out to a site like that, it's just awesome. To somebody, it's always hard to understand the scale of what we're doing and just the engineering that goes into it. So seeing a project like that at this stage, I'm excited to go back out there in a few years when it's finally done. But, for predecessors that came before me and for the work that this agency has done, and really and truly, the work of the 3 levee districts that have come together to really put Morganza to the Gulf on a national stage for importance, I think that's really the message here. One project certainly could be the linchpin, but it really is representative of the collective effort of the local community that really started it, and those levee districts. And they raised that level of importance to an agency like CPRA, and it's certainly been raised to the level of importance with Congress, the White House. I venture to say there may be only 2 projects out there that the president might know about, in Morganza to the Gulf and Grand Isle. He probably has heard of those.
But one of the things is the $400 million lock project is 2 big sector gates, and those 2 barge gates where those 2 sector gates are put wouldn't work, because when you're locking in vessels, you got to be able to open them and get them in and get them through the lock very easily. If it takes too long to open and close the gates, then the barge gates don't work that well. So in the case of the lock project, the Bubba Dove, when you're taking a big old offshore structure and on a 400 by 100 foot barge loaded with these gigantic off-field structures that needed to go through, there's a lot of planning and work done. It's not something that every day there's 4 or 5 boats going in and out of the canal with that. It takes 6 months to a year and a half to build, 2 years to build the structures. So you have time to be able to open and close those big gates. The Bayou Chene gate is it takes only a day to open it and close it, or about a half a day, or some cases a couple of 3 or 4 hours. But that's the navigation industry doesn't want to wait. So that's a lock project, which generally takes the sector gate type gates to operate, and there's 2 of them on that gate, 210 foot gates on that structure that is going to let boats in and out quicker. And then you got to fill it up with water, and you got to drain it with water, depending if you're coming in or out, if you're going from low water to high water or high water to low water. So it's a different kind of structure in the lock program. But we always knew that we needed a lock on the Houma Navigation Canal, but we never had the money to be able to do it. And so the first thing we needed to do is to stop the floods from coming. And so the Bubba Dove served that, but like it is today, it has to stay open. And so it's we can't control the salinity. It's strictly for hurricane floods. Once that is coming, you got time to do it. You got time to notify the industry, and so. But the lock program is really changed the operation of that facility to where now we can control the salinity, and then in addition to that, when the Atchafalaya is high, we can keep the fresh water in, and we can direct the fresh water to where we want it to direct it. We're going to build a pulse, what we call pulse, fresh water from the Atchafalaya into Grand Caillou Bayou and Lake Boudreaux by closing the gate and keeping the water inside. So we now have a valve, I would say, that we can open and close and operate, never stopping the boat traffic. That's very important to this component, allowing navigation at all times
And next week, more on this subject on location at the HNC construction site.
Thank you so much for joining us, and hope to see you again next week on Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond is brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Greater Lafourche Port Commission, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.